Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upload either a photo or a video to your Expo app directly from your photo library. If you haven't seen the first video, I highly recommend it. We will be using Expo Video for this setup, which is going to be replacing the Expo AV. So if you haven't seen part 1, I think you might find it helpful to check that out. Alright, now that we got that covered, let's dive straight into the main part of this tutorial. So first, we're going to want to install Image Picker to our project. So go ahead and copy that and go to your project and paste it there. Okay, to start, we're going to use the example code that's coming from the documentation here. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Okay, so it seems to build just fine. So let's run that on the iOS. And we get an error. So let's figure out why this is happening. So it seems like the cause of that error is coming from this line right here. If you happen to be getting the same error, go ahead and just set the use state to null, and that should fix the problem. As you can see, it fixes it for me. And now we can actually test it and see if we can upload an image, and that works. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can upload a video, see what happens. So we get the data on the console log, but we don't see it here. So that's what we're going to be working on next after we go over the code. Okay, so the issue we faced for this line, my guess is, I think is the syntax not being compatible in this setup. However, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments or even from the Expo team why this syntax is not working in this case. The goal is to learn from one another, so if somebody knows why that happened, I would love to hear your explanation for this. Okay, let's continue. So in the beginning here, we import the necessary components for this project. So use state, button, image, and view from React Native, and image picker from the Expo image picker to handle the image picking functionality. Then here, we declare a state variable called image using use state. This variable will store the URI of the selected image. We initialize it to null because initially no image is selected. Then we got this pick image function. This is the core of our image picking logic. Inside this async function, we call image picker. We use this image picker library because we imported it here, so we can use it by calling image picker.launch image library async. If you hover over it, it will show you what the function does. So this is what allows us to pick the image by utilizing this method. Here we pass options object to configure the picker. So the media type tells the picker to allow the user to select both images and videos. Then allow editing, I set it to false just so I can show you. Let's say I pick this picture, right? I don't get to edit the video, the photo. If I set this to true and reload that, then I have the option to edit it essentially. So I can display this portion or that portion. Technically it's supposed to allow me to crop it as well. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I have the crop option here, but it lets me to select which portion of the picture to display. So, and then we can set the aspect ratio of the image and the quality. Let's see, I wonder if I set it to 0.1. See how obvious that would be when we select an image. Reload it. Select, use the same image. That wasn't very obvious. Maybe this one? Huh. I think I'm just blind, guys. Yeah, I don't notice a difference. But this is supposed to allow us select the quality of the image. So specify the quality of compression from 0 to 1. Means to compress for a small size. 1 means compress for maximum quality. And my eyes can't tell the difference. So you get the idea. Then for this if statement, the launch image library async. This launch image library async function returns a result object. We check if the result cancelled is false. If it is false, it means the user selected either an image or a video. We then set the image state to the result.asset.uri, which is the URI of the selected asset. Okay, here in the return statement, we render a view that contains a button and an image component. For the button component, the button's onPress prop is set to our pick image function. So when the button is pressed, the image picker is launched. Then here, we use conditional rendering to display the image component only if the image state is not null. This prevents errors when no image is selected. So right here, the source prop is how we tell the image component what to display. It's the most important part here. The source prop takes an object. This object must have a URI property. Here's the key part. URI is the key and its value is our image state variable. This image state, as we discussed earlier, holds the actual location or address of the image file. This address is called the URI. It could be a file path on the device or a URL for an image on the web. If you saw the first video we did, we talked a little bit about this. A different way to handle it if the data is coming from a file path or from a web. So there's a different way of handling this or in passing this. Finally, we have some basic styles to center the content and set the dimensions of the image. Nothing special here. Okay, that's it for this example code. Now, as I demonstrated earlier, this works for displaying images, but it doesn't quite work for displaying a video. So let's implement that next. First, we need to import 2 additional items. Use video player and video view from Expo Video. Next, we need a way to track whether the selected media is a video or an image. To do that, we will add a new state variable called isVideo. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And initialize it to false. And let's go ahead and rename this to media URI, and this as well, set media URI. Okay, now we will modify the pick image function and rename it to pick media. It will handle both videos and images. We will also check if the selected media is a video or an image and update the state accordingly. So in order to do that, we will leave, let's remove this aspect ratio. We don't need this. We'll leave the quality there. Allow editing, we're not worried about this. It's not like I did anything earlier anyway. I'll have to look into that, see why that didn't work. Well, let's remove this for code clarity. All right, let's do it right here. So let's add another statement here. I guess we'll just say set media URI to that and set his video okay. So based on whether it's a video or an image, we'll check that and we'll handle it accordingly. Next, we will use the use video player hook to enable the video playback. This hook takes care of the initializing the video player and lets us control playback setting. If you remember from the first video, we had it read loop and start playing automatically. Now let's modify the return statement to handle both media types. We'll check if the media is a video or an image and render the appropriate component. Finally, we'll add some basic styles to make everything look nice. Here are the styles we'll use. Okay. Now let's go ahead and test this out. So as we know, the picture already works, so that checks off. Now let's try the video. Bam. Looks like video is also working. We also want to make sure this works on the Android environment. We do have to be fair. I know not everyone is an iPhone fan, so for all of you Android fans, I don't want you to feel left out. So here we are, running it in the Android environment, and we already know picture works. So let's go ahead and load the video. And as you can see, here's the video. It doesn't have any audio, but it seems to be working. Alright guys, that sums it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you understand how to pick and display media in your React Native apps. In the next video, I'll take things further by fetching photos and videos from a database, so stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Your support really motivates me to keep making contents like this. Feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.